Forget January blues, we're tackling January bills. Often the year's toughest month when it comes to managing your money, especially as your income needs to stretch due to an early payday in December.
So, how do you work towards ditching your debts? Martin Lewis is here now with his masterclass. How do you tackle it?
Well, there are two things you really have to do. The first is that you have to try and cut the cost of your interest. The less interest you pay, the more of your repayments clear the actual debt, rather than just servicing interest after interest. And the other thing you have to do is look at the rest of your spending to free up more money to be able to repay the debts. So we're going to be doing a phone-in later on, looking at the much wider section of bills and anything on debts too. But for now, I'm going to concentrate product by product on what you need to do with different debts to reduce the amount of interest that you pay.
Go for it.
All right.
Right, let's start with credit cards, the big one. Look, with the credit card, the obvious tool, I've talked about it many times, is a balance transfer. That's when you get a new credit card that pays off the debts on old cards for you, so you owe the new credit card the money at cheaper interest rates. But there's a few things people don't know about how to pick the right card. First thing, you need to go for the card. All of these balance transfers, it might be 40 months 0%, they have a fee, or most of them have a fee. So you want to go for the card with the lowest fee in the time you need to repay. So if you need a long time, go long. If you can repay it more quickly, go for a shorter 0%, but with a lower fee. Point number two, some cards are up to 0% length. So they might say, well, 43 months 0%, but it'll be up to 43 months.
What is that? What's the difference?
That means 51% of accepted applicants can get less. So you can get a shorter 0%. Other cards are guaranteed 0%, which means if you're accepted, you will get it. Now, I'll move on to my third point because it sort of merges in. My third point is, when you apply, that puts a mark on your credit file, so you want to minimise your applications. We have now what are called soft search tools, which are where when the individual card provider, you put your details in beforehand and it tells you whether you're likely to get the card, or eligibility calculators on comparison sites, which will tell you which of the top deals you're likely to get. They both work in the same way. So, go back to the up to cards. If all of your cards on an eligibility calculator are up to, it means you're probably not going to get the full 0% length. If you've got some guaranteed cards in there and your percentages are reasonably high on those, then that means you're actually, if you apply for that one, you're going to be sure you get the length that's being advertised, so it's probably better. It's a little bit complicated. We've got to go in. Let me just, this will help fill out when I give you some of the best cards on the market. I'm just giving you a selection because we've had 7 new deals launched, new Best Buys ever launch already this year. MBNA, up to 43 months 0%. Did you hear my up to?
Wow.
Hear my up to?
Up to.
With a 3.29% fee, and it's giving you £20 cash back if you transfer over £1,000. But I think for most people, Barclaycard, up to 42 months 0%, so a month shorter, is a lower fee, 2.99%, and £20 cash back there too, as long as you transfer over 500 quid. That's probably a winner. But Sainsbury's is 42 months. No up to.
Oh, well, that's
0%,
great.
but a higher fee of 3.5%. So you have to have a look which one you're most likely to get.
Well, you wouldn't pay that fee if you paid it all off monthly anyway?
You would. That is a balance transfer fee. So if you shift... When you shift £1,000, you pay the fee on the amount you shift. It's a one-off fee of the amount that you shift. But if you could pay really quickly, you've got Halifax up to 26 months 0%, no fee, and Sainsbury's...
Up to?
No.
Oh.
Nothing?
No, nothing. That was my pause. It was my nothing pause. Sainsbury's,
nothing.
25 months 0%, no fee. So if you could very quickly, you could go for no fee. Of course, with this, always make sure you repay the monthly minimum, or you can lose the 0% deal, clear the card before the 0% ends or the rates go up, and crucially, never spend on these cards, never withdraw cash on these cards.
Put them in a drawer.
Put them in a drawer, put them in a bowl of water in your freezer and freeze it, so you have to smash them to open. These are about shifting debts to cut costs. These are not a way to get new debt cheaply.
OK, what about store cards then?
Exactly the same. People get confused about this. Store cards are just a limited-use credit card. You can do a balance transfer from a store card to a normal card. Occasionally, people run into holes where, for some technical reason, the balance transfer can't happen. And you then need a money transfer card that I'll talk about in a minute. But generally, treat a store card like a credit card.
OK.